Pass tweet out. I'm always going to slaughter that. Danny from Harold's, how's that? We'd like to thank Desert Foothills Library for providing the venue for us today. Folks, if you need to use the restrooms, go out the doors, take a left through the doors, take another left, you're going to see them on your left. There is water and snacks out there if you like, but please, hopefully we don't spill or anything in here, and please pick up your trash afterwards. That would help greatly. The forum is consisting of a first round that it's 2 minutes introduction that will be in alphabetical order. The next 2 questions are provided by the chamber and curated what was heard at town council meetings, online postings, and from, well, the community. The candidates will be asked these questions in random order. The final question will be drawn from the questions that were submitted at the front and presented to the candidates, and we ask the same question to all candidates. So we choose the most popular question that you all want to know. In the final round, the candidates will be asked in reverse alphabetical order for their closing statements. So if you do have a question, now's the time. Still open, right, to submit questions? To place the front questions at the front desk, and they're going to curate that final question. Every candidate has been informed about the timing. It's 2 minutes to answer a question. The timer will show a green card to the candidates at 1 minute and 30 seconds, a yellow card at 1 minute and 45 seconds, and a red card at 2 minutes along with a bell. That means to wrap up at the 2 minutes. We will move on to the next candidate. All candidates have been fully briefed in advance on the format and timing. Candidates may ask for the question to be repeated. The candidates have not been given any advance notice of the questions. We'd like to thank Mel for taking care of the recording today. We will get this posted on the Carefree Cave Creek Chamber YouTube channel, and it will also be announced through press releases on our social media channels, and we distribute it to the town as well. Let's all be respectful and courteous without comments or remarks or noises from the audience. Please turn off your cell phones to either airplane mode or silent, not to disrupt the candidates or everyone else in the room that will hear that. Our disclaimer is, per our bylaws, the Carefree Cave Creek Chamber of Commerce does not endorse any local, state, or national candidates. This forum is being provided solely to allow the community to engage with the candidates in a more intimate setting. Are you all ready? Would you like to test the mic?
Testing.
We are short one candidate this evening. Patsy Murphy could not attend us. She is ill. We wish her the best. I'm sorry she could not attend. This round is for the candidates to introduce yourselves. We'll go in alphabetical order. You have 2 minutes to introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, thank you for coming, and thank you Chamber for hosting this event today. My name is Kathleen Abaie, and I have been in Arizona since 2007. My husband moved us here from New York. We fell in love with the Cave Creek, Desert Hills, North Valley area. It's beautiful up here. We're here because it's the same reasons you're all here. I have been involved in the 4005 committee that for the open space land. That was my recent committee thing. I wasn't actually on the Morningstar committee, but I attended all the meetings for the Morningstar Trail committee. I have been married to my husband for 44 years. I hope I have that number right. I have 2 grown children. They came with us when we moved here. They both work here in Phoenix. I have a couple grandchildren. I have 1 horse left. I had 5 at one time, and I used to ride the trails around here, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It's beautiful, and trails are very important. There's a lot of issues that are going on that I hope to be an instrumental role in protecting and playing a part in. What else can I tell you about myself? I have my little cheat sheet. I apologize. So I do volunteer frequently. I have in the past for Scottsdale Radio Show and all kinds of stuff like that. Things with kids. And I have my own little bookkeeping business. Keeps me busy, keeps me in touch with the numbers. I'm not afraid of numbers. I'm kind of nerdy like that. Numbers tell a story, and it's good to pay attention to the story that they tell. And I have a big heart for this town. I love this town. I can't express how much I love this town. And I'm here to preserve it and to protect it, and also for the residents, because everybody is just amazing here. I've enjoyed meeting everybody. So, I'm going to work hard on your behalf, and I hope to earn your trust. I appreciate everything. Thank you so much.
Oh, I didn't get the bell.
Well done. Yeah. There's the bell. Thanks for coming out, everybody. I'm David Ackerman. I live across the street. My story is that I went to UC Davis, graduated with a major in managerial economics, a minor in atmospheric science, and also in Spanish. In my past life, I have been on a city council. I have been a planning commissioner. I've been the president of a youth soccer club. I've been the president of a school board, elementary school board, etc. Currently, I am the treasurer on the Cave Creek Museum board. I was also part of the open space, the ad hoc open space committee that was proudly responsible for helping preserve the 4,005 acres. And I also, I'm all over the trails, mostly trail running, hiking, walking, not just in town, but also Spur Cross and Cave Creek Regional Park. Why do I want to run? I love volunteering as well. I just want to get back to being on a higher level. So I appreciate each of you coming out tonight to hear what we have to say, and thank you. See you.
Good afternoon. This is my second job interview for the position where I'm currently an incumbent. The first was gathering the petition qualifying signatures, and we have to get roughly 200. So that was the first interview. Today is the second interview. And then the third interview is July 21st. You'll have your ballots about 30 days before that. I'm getting a prompt. Am I date wrong?
Who are you?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't get my name. I'm trying to run as anonymous. I'm Tom Augherton. Was active here back in the 90s on the council, and I came back like a bad penny. Now I've lost my train of thought. That's too bad. I guess thanks. Anyway, one thing I did want to observe today, because I've watched it in this process, is that most political contests between individuals are not what we have here in Cave Creek. Whatever you hear from all the folks that are up here today has a component, maybe not intentional but obvious, of passion. Why they live here, why they love here, why they're running, what their dreams are, what their passion is, and so forth. And it's just not like a standard political race that you would find elsewhere in the country. And as we're about to celebrate our 250th anniversary, Cave Creek is probably the best example you'll encounter in the state of the 92 towns and incorporated cities where volunteerism is not dead. Not only is it not dead, but it runs parallel with the appointed officials and the elected officials. The other thing I wanted to observe is, with these colored sheets flying, is I had to go to Phoenix the other day, down to the Salt River, to return an animal for rehab at Southwest Rehabilitation Center. Every year we have ravens in a tall tree, and every year the smallest of these seem to get pushed out, and they have to be taken somewhere for intervention. And if you ever want to know what Cave Creek is, take a trip to the valley and back in the same day, in rush hour or not rush hour. We're still a village. And I'm out of time. Thank you.
Good afternoon, and thanks to Steve and the Chamber for hosting us, and thanks to all of you for coming to hear what we have to say today. My name is Cynthia Driskoll. I'm an incumbent council member. I served 3 years on the Planning Commission and then was appointed to council in September of 2024 when Paul Elkema moved away from the state. And this is my first full term on council. I've had 41 wonderful years in Cave Creek. I raised a family here, built a business, and have enjoyed a very active outdoor lifestyle, like many of you. I am motivated to support the town as a debt of gratitude. I'm happy here. I see many happy people here, and I want that to be the future of Cave Creek as well. I'm motivated because I see things from our past that lead into our future, that set the stage as that future comes closer and closer. We have had challenges in the past, what I refer to sometimes as the good, the bad, and the ugly. Things in Cave Creek that maybe didn't work out the way we wanted, or challenges that went unmet, or assumptions that were wrong. But we have the chance to learn from those lessons and to continue to pull together for our current state of affairs. The focus on the present is really the quality of life issues. That's what we hear most about from all of you as residents. It's traffic, it's noise, it's signs, it's building, it's all the challenges that a growing town has. And those are the things we need to keep hearing from you. For the future, our foundation is strong, but we don't know who's going to buy our property, who's going to walk on our trails, who's going to live the values that we have brought to Cave Creek that has made it a unique sense of place. So that's why I'm running, to keep that legacy going and to be able to contribute to the good work of the town. Thank you.
Boy, I don't know how I'm going to follow that up. But anyway, Joe Freedman, I'm an incumbent running for council again. In case you don't know me, I'll just tell you about myself. I came out here in 1981 to Arizona from Detroit, and I lived in Tempe for about 10 years, went to ASU, got a poli-sci degree so I could graduate quicker, and didn't do law school. And then I moved up to Scottsdale, which is a place that I'm going to avoid going forward. And I'm here in Cave Creek now, and I've been in Cave Creek 25 years, and still in the same house. I can't tell you how much I love Cave Creek. It's sliced bread in my book, and that's why I'm standing before you, because I want to give back to this town. I've wanted to give back to this town for a long time. In 2016, I had all the signatures, and I was going to run then. But I didn't because a certain somebody was the editor of our newspaper, and I was afraid to destroy my family, being my wife back there, Linda, and my son, who was 10 years old, who's been raised here at all the schools and all that good stuff too. So here I am now. I decided to run 10 years later, and I succeeded somehow by 1 vote. And anyway, yeah, so I'm just a regular guy. I played rugby for a long time, and I have a lot of energy. I'm getting it done, in my opinion. I hope you think so too. There's not a lot to say, and I have to go to my cheat sheet too. My son was here. He was born and raised. I have a real affinity for this town, and I'll do whatever it takes, politics aside, to make sure Cave Creek is the best place we live in. In fact, when I die, I'm going to be buried in my backyard, and that is in my will. So thank you for coming. Thank you, Steve, in the chamber, and all you good people of Cave Creek.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming out. My name is Brian Hardy, and just give you a little bit of quick background. My wife Annie's with me here today, and we've been together since high school. In fact, believe it or not, she tried to hold my hand when she was 9, and kind of put it off till she was 14 and figured it out there. But anyways, just a little bit about me. I've been in leadership since I was very, very young. My first real leadership job was running one of the largest Ford stores in the country with 300 employees, and I was 28. So it took a lot of listening, a lot of speaking the right language to everyone to kind of pull that off. But, and then we only have 2 minutes, so it's just, there's quite a few things that go along with that. We started our own business, sold it after 16 years to a public company, and so forth. But here's what I want to tell you is over the next 60 days, I'm going to talk to as many people as humanly possible. I've met with a lot of people. I've met with a lot of, I see as community leaders in town, and I can tell you this, there's a lot of stories, and there's a lot of grudges in town too, I can tell you that. It's funny to hear people talking about, people. But, I plan on just getting together and meet with as many people as possible. But here's what I can also tell you, is that the gatekeepers of Cave Creek have said I haven't been here long enough to run for office. And my response to that is, I think I got here just in time. So, I think that if you're proud of Cave Creek and you want to keep the spirit alive, then I think we're all family, no matter how long you've been here. And I want to do the best job I possibly can for you. I bring a lot of leadership skills, vision, discipline. Those are my superpowers. So I'm really good at that. But with that, I'll turn it over. Appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming out. I'm Thomas McGuire. Tom is Tom. I'm Thomas, so keep us straight. I moved here in 2000. We love Cave Creek. A lot of people here know me. My volunteer service has been with the Cave Creek Museum, with the Desert Foothills Library. I did some presentations here on Cave Creek water, Arizona's water. I got a wonderful award for my service to Spur Cross recently, unexpected, wonderful. Desert Foothills Land Trust, I've also participated with them. I have a degree in geology, very familiar with the water situation here, and my degree really is very helpful in that way. I want to say that the three most important issues for Cave Creek are water, water, and water. Because we're in a tough spot. We are looking at a possible cutback in Cave Creek of 20 to 50% of our water. Cave Creek is almost totally dependent upon water coming from the Central Arizona Project Canal. And with what's happening between the upper basin states and the lower basin states, it's going to be really difficult. There's so many things to say. I hope that you all are picking up the brochure that I left out there, and I'm going to let that speak for much of my policies. So I want to protect open space. I think that because it is zoned as open space, that's helpful, but it will be even more helpful, thank you. It will be even more helpful if the town buys it. So we establish policy. I like working with town staff, and no town property tax. We don't need it.
Good afternoon. I am Kathryn Royer. I am running for mayor of Cave Creek. I have been on the town council since 2018. I was elected as a town council member 2 years after I had retired from Central Arizona Project, which Tom just mentioned. I am a wife, a mother, a grandmother. I have owned my home for 30 years. I met my second husband at the bar at Harold's. Stand up, Gabe. Let me see you. My tall, dark, handsome, drink the water. And he understands my passion for why I do this. I ran because we were not protecting our water supply. We did get a CAP allocation, of course, like other municipalities, but we had extra water that we weren't saving. We were letting it linger in the canal, and it was flowing down the canal and somebody else was buying it, even though we had already paid capital charges. So I ran on that effort, and along with Bob Morris, who also needs recognition here, our current mayor, and currently stand because of his foresight and vision and knowledge as a chemical engineer and his knowledge of infrastructure. So my platform was successful, but secondarily, I was a communications major all of my career. I worked for 20 years in broadcasting and corporate communications, and then I came to government, which was the best job of all, with the most respectful, intelligent people. The general counsel of CAP is also here, a Cave Creek resident and a good friend of mine, Jay Johnson. Thanks, Jay, for coming. All of these people have made it possible for us to protect our water supply because it's currently under fire, as you've heard. We are going to be expecting cuts in 2027. So between Bob Morris and I, we have worked hard to meet with governmental leaders and business leaders and find alternative water sources for Cave Creek. You'll hear more later. Please read my paperwork.
We'll start with the next round of questions with Joe. We'll start with Joe. Question is, water is a critical issue for the future of Cave Creek. What is your current assessment of our community's water supply and long-term sustainability, and what specific actions would you support to ensure reliable water for residents and businesses?
Okay. So right now, our water situation is this. If most of you have probably heard about the water in the state, that there's a pact from 1922 that's going to expire at the end of this year, and that's what they're talking about. We don't know what the cuts are until July, probably, with between, he said, 20 and 50%. I've heard even worse. So right now, Cave Creek is one of 24 towns and cities in Maricopa County. We are in the worst shape of all the towns. We are the hardest town to get water to. Currently, we experimented with the Harquahala situation. It was a good deal, but the problem is getting the water out of the ground, getting it here, treating it would have cost us way more than we were going to have to spend, so we backed out of that, which was probably the right move. I believe that was 7-0 on the vote. Going forward, right now, we are working with Peoria, Surprise, and Phoenix to form partnerships. We have banked water, which Kathryn mentioned earlier, and that banked water is in the ground. We have no way to get it, but through those cities, we're going to get it. There's going to be a trade-off, and we're going to have water. So we're good for a while. Hopefully the state and the elected officials that are a little higher up can get this worked out with the upper basin states. But right now, California, Arizona, and Nevada have worked out a deal where they're going to share the burden, because before it was all on us. But right now, things are looking better than they were looking. I mean, there's still a looming crisis. We're going to go for it as far as trying to find things that are coming up right now that we can get involved in. There's not a lot of options out there, folks. I'm not going to lie to you, but I'm working hard, and I'm working with these people to make sure that it happens, okay?
Next up will be Thomas.
Thank you. Yeah, we're looking at a tough situation. We will not run out of water. That will not happen. But we may need to reconsider how we're using water. More than 50% of the water that's used by our individuals is outside the home, in pools and landscaping. Elaine and I use about 2,000 to 3,000 gallons a month. The average person in Cave Creek is using about 10,000 gallons a month. We have a few homes that are using more than 50,000 gallons a month. We are addressing that by having heavily graduated water rates. So those of you who use relatively little water, as we do, we're actually going to find our rates are going to go down a little bit. But the people who are up at the top will be encouraged not to use so much water by paying a lot more for the water. That's the way it's being done in many places. But it's a very difficult situation. The upper basin states do not want to talk to the lower basin states. They're saying, we haven't used all our water, and Arizona in particular is using it. I like to say, if you're going into a poker game and you're talking about water, you don't want Arizona's hand. Our position is not a good position. We are junior to California. In theory, if we run short of water, Arizona takes all the cuts before California loses any of their water. That was a deal that was done for important reasons to get support, thank you, for the CAP canal. But we will have to deal with it. It's going to be a difficult situation. One possibility is in California, they are desalinating more water than they need. We might be able to pay California to desalinate more water, in which case we pay them, we use more Colorado River water. But it's probably going to cost about 10 times as much as the water we're using now. Thank you.
Next up will be Kathryn.
There you go.
We've been working extensively to collaborate with state officials, regional officials, local officials, to identify and have answers to our questions about how much water are we anticipating losing. We cannot get a straight answer. So all we can do is work with the estimates of 20 to 50%. Given that, we have thankfully banked water for 3 years. 3,000 acre feet of water has been banked underground. They are considered credits because there's not really a good way to get that water out of the ground. So we're exchanging water with Peoria and Surprise. Our valley cities are being very cooperative with towns like us who are in dire straits because our only source of water is from the Colorado River, 95%. The rest of it is well water. It's not enough to sustain us. So because we banked water beginning in 2021, we have a bridge, 3 to 5 years, that will tide us over until we can find longer-term water supplies. And we're still looking at that. Harquahala was mentioned. We thought it was our solution. It had a big question mark about how much it was going to cost to get it to the CAP canal. No answers there. We couldn't risk it. Already we were leveraging $11 million for 500 acre-feet of water for 100 years. So we're looking at other options for long-term water supplies, well water. We're even considering, as many of you know, selling the utilities. We're putting out an invitation for bids to see who might be interested in buying one or all of the water utilities. We do know that it's not entirely acceptable to many of our residents. It's a risk. If we're not in control of our water rates and how water is delivered and the reliability of it all,
All
it's
right,
a
thank you
question.
very much. We will go to Kathleen next.
Thank you. Hello. So yes, the water, I don't want to stand in front of anybody. The water is a super critical issue. It's one that concerns me greatly for the reasons that have already been discussed. I have concerns. I think that in addition to the things that Thomas and Kathryn and Joe have mentioned, we also need to conserve our water. We have to really focus on that. And that's a hard thing to do when you're used to just turning on the faucet. You know, you're doing dishes, don't let it go down the drain, you know, all the easy things. And we need the water source. I'm not privy to a lot of the fine details in regards to the invitation for bids that have been sent out, or the intricacies of the deal for Hartwell. Although I think I'm in agreement, well, I know I'm in agreement why they didn't go forward with that, because there's too many unknowns, and the cost would have been really exorbitant. But conservation is a good idea. The thing that concerns me about the water situation, as Kathryn has mentioned, is the control. It's not only just the rates, it's the water. You want to make sure you got good water. The other thing of it is I think it ties into the development and land and the 4,005 acres and going forward and the impact that we are seeing with the growth around us and how we want to shape our town and maintain its heritage and protect the town, preserve the town. So there's a lot to think about. I don't have a decision on whether we should sell or not. I've heard both. I've heard both sides. If you don't have water, you don't have water. Your home values go down. You know, that's true. That's important, and we need water to survive. But what does the growth look like if somebody else came in privately? So the concerns that we have about maintaining the heritage that we have, how will that look? The impact of things that are coming from the south and the east of us are real. They're real, and we need to be mindful of that, and we need to protect and preserve. Thank you.
Next up will be Tom.
Thank you. Watching this discussion has been really fascinating as a member of the council and also attending different community meetings on the subject. Former ADWR Director Rita Pearson was up here a few weeks ago and provided almost like a film by Ken Burns on the history of water. And what I observe is that technology has done miracles in getting water to the desert, going back to Senator Carl Hayden and the invention and the installation of the Central Arizona Project. And a glass of water coming out of your kitchen tap today literally started on the surface of Lake Havasu, was lifted 600 some odd feet. Gravity flows all the way down here to Cave Creek Road, and then it's removed from there and lifted up all to this height, another 600 or 800 feet, I believe it is. But because we're a small town with limited resources, we are forced to provide a portion of that for a golf course, which we did grandfather the golf course in the early 1990s, and we added an ordinance that no future golf courses would be permitted above this aquifer in this town. But some of the water that we store in the summertime is not potable because of the heat and above ground storage after a few days, and we dump it. We dump it in an adjacent wash in the northern part of the town. So the technology in some ways is exceeding the sanity of the policies, but we are, as has been mentioned, we're an observer. If you think about global warming, whether it's true or not, and regional drought, which I think is valid as a true issue, the decisions are being made so many layers above us, and they're purely political. These are not pragmatic reasoning sessions. So the technology can deliver water. We had one proposal about bringing water from the Mississippi River. So the good news on the water scarcity, even though our dependency is on the CAP, is that maybe our policies will begin to come in alignment with the cost of bringing water to the town and how we use the water.
Next up will be David.
When I was walking around town collecting signatures, this was definitely one of the key questions that I was asked, and my answer was, I've attended council meetings for the past year or so. I think the town has done a good job, not only budgeting some funds to be prepared proactively, be prepared to pull some sort of deals, but just continuing to negotiating and utilizing connections that we have both within the town and outside of town. So I think we're in a good position. To me, it's definitely conservation on top of just continuing to try to be proactive and use our connections. With my background, my business background, I know that if elected and if I was on council, I know I would definitely be a bonus to the council and being able to help out with the situation, whether it has to do with negotiations, whatever. I agree with Joe. It's not a panic situation, but definitely it's the number one topic for the town, and I think we're in a good position now. And I'm still learning about it myself. For example, I'm part of the Desert Foothills Land Trust Academy for the Leadership Academy, and that was our session last month, was going to the Scottsdale Water Treatment Plant, and we spent a day, a field trip out there, and it was amazing learning about not only how water is treated, but just learning where the water comes from and everything. So it's going to continue to be a learning process for me. I look forward to it, and I hope I'm a part of the future of securing water long term for the town.
Next up will be Cynthia.
Water is our forever issue here because we live in the desert and it is dry. We've had success during the last council years in terms of finding solutions, management, both on the supply side and the demand side, because you have to address both. So the more progress we make in conservation and decreasing demand, unfortunately, can result in an increase in the cost of infrastructure to provide reduced amounts of water. So it becomes a little bit of a challenge to balance those two, both in the cost of water we're supplying, the acquisition of new water resources as needed, as well as then managing the demand to keep it in balance. I think one issue on the supply side that we haven't talked enough about in Cave Creek is that a number of residents are still on well water. We are where we live, about half a mile north of here. And within a 3-mile radius of our property, if you look at the website of the Water Resources Department, there's about 800 active registered wells. That doesn't mean they're all active. Some of them are the town wells, some are exempt wells, but those are straws in the ground that continue to delete the groundwater that many residents use. So this is an issue that will need our attention in the future too, not just the supply for the water utility that the town runs, but a balance of supply for the entire town. We're fortunate that we have talented utility staff. Sean Kruzweisner has been very active. He's developed relationships that are valuable to the town, and we can build on those relationships to help secure our immediate supply. I think our demands for the future, we need to look at all technologies, recycle, reuse, and hitching our water wagon to facilities that can provide that will be in our best interest.
Next up will be Brian.
Sure. So, I hear that the water issue is going to be an issue forever. And, I would like to find a solution to make it so the water is no longer an issue. There's a lot of regional growth that's going on out there. You have, CIP is supporting regional growth. Obviously, Phoenix is supporting regional growth. There's a lot of things happening out there. There is water available, and the deals have to be made. And I promise you, I'm going to find those deals and work with council and get this thing put to bed. When you look at the chip plant, you have Halo Vista going in. We're talking 50 to 100,000 homes that are going there. That's not to mention City, North, down at Desert Ridge, and all these different places. That's going to be another 5 to 10,000 units. And there's growth everywhere, explosion of everything. The 3,000-acre data center plant that's going into Pinal County, 59 data centers. I mean, it's unbelievable what's happening in Arizona. And, you know, if you have 80,000 homes down there around TSMC, they're using 40 million gallons a day. Cave Creek uses 2. I mean, this has to be a solvable problem. You know, it's like, I mean, Cave Creek is a small town. You know, we got a big image. You know, we look big, but you know, when you take a look at it, there's 5,000 residents in Cave Creek. There's 20,000 in New River. You know, this is a solvable problem. So, and I think that we need to get a hydrology report, see what's going on with our wells here. We haven't had one for a long time. I think they're doing one every other year, and nothing's happened on those for a while. So we need to see what's going on there. But I promise, there is a solution. There's just got it. You can't have all this regional growth, and with this regional growth, we need to be at the table. We need to be talking about it because it's going to impact us, right? Those 300,000 people that are sitting on the other side of the 17, where are they going for the weekend? Probably here. You know, so it's like, hey, where are we going to go? We're going to go to Prescott, or we're going to go to Cave Creek? Thank you.
Why don't you start us off on this next round too, Brian? So the town is currently exploring the acquisition of 4,005 acres of land. What is your position on this potential acquisition, and what factors should guide the town's decision-making process?
Well, I think it was a good idea. That deal was obviously, you know, made 20 years ago and put aside. It's still going to take about 18 months for the process to roll out, and how the, you know, auction is going to look and what's going to happen. A lot of people think, you know, I talk to people, they think that we're pretty much just going to walk up and grab the deed and throw it in the safe, and that's not really the case. I mean, it is going up for auction. So, you know, hopefully that goes well, and the pieces all fall together on that. So, but there's, you know, there's going to have to be another appraisal, you know, more, you know, waiting periods and things that go on that we're just going to have to see. But I do support the 4,005 acres. I think, you know, when everybody else is, you know, kind of exploding in growth, Cave Creek is kind of standing there trying to, you know, conserve this land and you know, keep these open spaces. So, you know, this is going to be a special place for sure.
Thank you. Next up is Cynthia.
Thank you. The land preservation is a common thread that ties our past, present, and future together. We're fortunate, very fortunate, and it's an exciting time in Cave Creek to be able to contribute significantly to the history of land preservation. We had the Cave Creek Regional Park way back in 1963, Spur Cross 25 years ago in 2001, Black Mountain Preserve, the top of Black Mountain through the Land Trust in, I think, 2012 it was. These were all great opportunities that continued to make Cave Creek a unique and special place. And that's what's exciting right now, to have this opportunity to pull in almost double what the preservation land is for the town, within the town borders, and to secure it permanently into the future. So I certainly have supported the process. We had a lot of good resident input on the task force to get us to this point, and I look forward to a lot of community support and business support to keep moving us forward. I think the council has wisely considered how to finance this, so when the opportunity comes, we're prepared this fiscal year, certainly no later than the end of the year 2027 to have accomplished this task. So that's our goal, and we'll keep marching toward it.
Next up will be Joe.
So the land trust, or not the land trust, but the 4,005 acres. So I've been here 25 years. I am, if you know me, I'm a serious hiker and serious outdoorsman. So when I decided to run, I was looking for one common thing other than water, which is the top of the food chain, what we need to solve, and that is this land. So Cave Creek is 37 square miles. This land is 6 square miles alone. So, and Spur Cross was probably about, I guess, 3 square miles. So once we get this land, like quite a big portion of our town is going to be preserved. Nobody has this. Scottsdale doesn't even have it with their preserve. So when I decided to run, again, about 4 years ago, I said, I'm going to get this thing going, because this thing had been dead. If you've been reading and seeing what's going on, there hadn't been any action on this in 15 or 16 years. It just was dead. And, you know, I told people, if you know I came by your house, I said, by hook or by crook, I'm going to get this going. I'm going to light a fire under everybody's you-know-what. And I'm being honest with you right now. And I did that. And It's here, and everybody's in support of it. As far as going forward and lining up what Cynthia was saying, financing and stuff, one thing that has not been mentioned, and this is something I'm firmly a believer of, is that we can raise this money privately. And we don't have to do a tax or anything. There are people out there, this is a hot topic right now, there are people that will contribute to this right now. And I know who they are, and I'm going after them, and I hope other people are too. But on June, I believe 9th, the Land Trust will hopefully have the boilerplate done so we can go out and start fundraising. But that's where it's at right now. Again, this is huge for the town. Everybody should be into this. Our property values are going to go up, etc. And you know, it's a good thing. So that's it.
Great. Next up will be Thomas.
Thank you. In 2000, there was a miracle. The miracle was the town coming together. 3/4 of our citizens came out. 3/4 of them voted to tax themselves to buy Spur Cross. In Cave Creek, tax is a 4-letter word, but the community came out and did it. When I looked at this deal for the 4,500 acres, I said, well, it's already zoned as open space. Does that mean that we don't have to preserve it? Well, I talked with our staff and I said, you know, they can only use it for things like camping and things like that. And I said, well, what if they want to put camping for 2,000 people on there? If the town buys it, we've got more control over it. Ken Burns talked about our national parks as being our single greatest idea. I think people will look back on this and they will say this was a great opportunity. The town had the finances to do it. There will be possible initiative of doing it by another method. We have some citizens who want to add to our property tax. I don't support that. I don't think we need to do that. I think that our staff has put together a better way to go about it. But we need to keep an eye on it. They have a lot of priorities. We need to upgrade town hall. We need to do a number of other things. So it's not going to be easy, but I think we have the ability to do it. And I think I've seen Cave Creek do miracles like Spur Cross, and this can be another one. Thank you.
Next up is Kathryn.
The town has been in full support of acquiring the 4,005 acres from the beginning. In fact, we created a task force to help us decide how it should best be executed. We had about 20 volunteers to begin with, and I think it whittled down to about 17. And some people thought that was going to be mismanageable or unmanageable, but it wasn't, because we divided into 3 different subcategories and got the job done. They came to the council with the recommendations to purchase it and acquire it, and we unanimously voted in favor. We have since included $16 million in the FY27 budget to pay for it. And that would be done through a variety of means, including revenue bonds and potentially grants. There are some federal grants that are available for millions of dollars, and some donations, as Joe mentioned. So there's options for us to pay for it. We know we're going to get it because we have an intergovernmental agreement with the State Land Department. It was never dead. It was created in 2009. It had a 20-year lifespan. We knew we had time. And so we properly attended to other business, and now we have focused on this 4,005 acres and gotten it done. Thank you.
Next up will be Kathleen.
It's a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing for this 4,005 acres. This is the Sonoran Desert. There's no other place like this except for part of California and a little bit of Mexico. And to preserve this land and protect this land and preserve and protect the boundaries of Cave Creek from the changes that are occurring west, south, and east is amazing. And I give a lot of kudos to, I was on the task force, I give a lot of kudos to the people 20 years ago that discussed this and brought it forward. I give kudos to the current council for bringing it forward and going forward with it. For the task force, yeah, there were a lot of people, but we all agree. This is something that everybody agrees on. The community agrees on it. Everybody wants it. It's a no-brainer. It's an easy thing to do. This past Tuesday council meeting, it was presented that we have an agreement with Desert Foothills Land Trust. They will hold the pocketbook, I suppose you could call it, for donating money in there, and it can be a tax write-off to anybody who's willing to donate. We can, even those of you that want to donate just a little bit, it all adds up. It's a beautiful thing. Yes, right now it's conservation, and that's the deal that was made when we initially walked into this. I'm so happy that it's been pushed forward and we're actually doing it now. Yes, there were other issues that needed to be taken care of, but we're going to get it done. We're going to do it. If we will have challenges, the application process for going to the Arizona State Land Department to put it on the auction block has occurred. That was announced last month's council meeting, 2 times ago council meeting. That is a 12 to 18 month process. We did have the Arizona Land Department come and present to us as to how that process works.
All right, thank you very much. Next up will be Tom.
If you want to scale to measure 4,005 acres for roughly 13 million or whatever the final appraisal comes back as. But if you were buying the 1 acre on Carefree Highway for the dog wash or the McDonald's, you would have spent 1 million. So it's just almost incomprehensible that the community has the ability to acquire this mass of open space land. But the other thing that's even more impressive is this is Spur Cross Ranch, point 2, in terms of the original 2,235 acres being doubled with 4,000 more acres. And it hasn't been mentioned this evening, but I'll do it for one of our colleagues in the audience, that when this land is acquired by the town, it will include recreational opportunities for residents and the kids and families as well as part of these acquired properties. But picture Spur Cross Ranch totally protected on the west, south, southeast sides by the acquisition of this land. And then, I don't know obviously where each of you live, but the view corridors from where most of you live, looking north, will be protected with this. So I don't even consider it land preservation. I consider it lifestyle preservation. All those 4,000 acres will not be streets and rooftops and auxiliary services for those homes. And it is still a long shot away. I mean, you talk about the perils of the strait. What this has to navigate is the state legislature, the state land department, a change in governors potentially this November. And the ballot initiative, to me, I do support that, and I was involved in gathering signatures. At least it provides a second alternative to have input as members of the public on how it's financed. And let's see if the people actually support it in town, if they want to vote for preservation, and they want to have the visitors pay for it with sales tax. So there's no bad news. That's all I can say.
And David.
Preserving open space. If you picked up my flyer that's out there, it's front and center towards the top of the flyer. That's open space is what lured me to Cave Creek. I'm also an outdoor enthusiast. I do Black Mountain a few times a week, Spur Cross, etc. I also volunteer. I'm a Maricopa County Trail Ambassador. All that means is as I'm trail running and hiking trails, I get to report the status of trails in both Cave Creek Regional and Spur Cross, which is pretty cool. Again, I was on the ad hoc open space committee with a lot of other members. Very proud of that. Very proud to sit at the town council the other night and learn that the partnership with Desert Foothills Land Trust is formal and official right now. That's awesome. That's crazy awesome. My goal is to live here forever, and open space is it's going to be at the top of my list always. So again, if I'm elected, I will continue to do my best to be a part of preserving open space, not only for selfish reasons, but also just for community reasons. So
Might as well hold on to the mic. So this question came from all of you, was the most popular question. What are your plans for the future of Cave Creek?
That's a great question. My answer is I'm not going to come in here and say, I want to change this, I want to change that, etc. I actually love this town, the way it is. Are there things we can tweak? Are there things we can enhance? Sure. For example, safety. Safety is a big thing and always has been for me. But in general, I don't want to come in here like a wrecking ball and promise all these things and try to make all these changes. I actually am very proud of this community and how this community has evolved, and there's already so many things we're doing to preserve it long term. If I'm on the board, I just hope that I again could be a part of just doing a good job and helping the council do an even better job that they've already been doing. And I just, with my skill set, my background, I just know that I'll only be a bonus if elected and on that council. So I'd like to keep Cave Creek as much as possible the way it is right now, because again, I plan on living here for the long haul.
Next up, Kathleen.
So I've already shared with you that I have a big heart for Cave Creek. I'm one of those people that if you invite me over to your house, or if I stay at your house, I'm going to come in your house and I'm going to live my time in your house the way you live in your house. I'm not going to come in and make changes. I'm not going to come in and rearrange your furniture and do all that kind of stuff. I really have big passions for this town, and I have so much honor for those in the past, in '86, who thought long and hard and thought that came to the decision as a group, as a committee, as the residents, hey, you know what? They're coming. And then our beautiful town, even though we're free as we are right now, is not protected. So they informed an incorporation committee, they discussed it, and they incorporated this town to protect this town. And I want to honor that. I want to honor the heritage that this town is. Yeah, we're going to have changes. We're going to have impacts. You know, the same issues they had then are the same issues now, water and growth. And I want to be a part of that. I'm a deep diver. If I don't know an issue, I'm going to learn it. And I've been reading and studying and learning so many things throughout this process. I've also attended the council meetings as much as my work allows me. But if I'm on council, my work is just going to have to allow me. It's going to happen. I just can't express my passion enough. I'm here for you guys, because I'm not here for me. I'm here for what the residents want. The organization chart on the town website has the residents at the top, and then it's the council, and then it's the staff, and then it's whatever is at the bottom of it. That's probably all there is. So. But anyways, I'm here for you, and I want to see this town keep its heritage and keep its life. So thank you.
Next up will be Brian.
Kathleen, you can go over and rearrange my furniture if you want. That was funny. That was funny. So, the future of Cave Creek. So, a lot of people call me the town square guy. I truly believe that Cave Creek deserves a town square. Cave Creek is very, very special, and it is very special to a lot of people in Arizona. We have a big tourism industry here. We have a historic town core that brings people in from everywhere. And, you know, a lot of people complain about, you know, the congestion on Cave Creek during Cave Creek Road during big events. A town square would relieve all that pressure. And I just really believe that Cave Creek needs a second center of gravity other than Cave Creek Road, okay? The minute visitors come to town, you pull them off the street. We can have festivals there, you know, during Cave Creek Rodeo days, we can actually have a festival, you know, right after the parade. We can have it all day long. We have 4th of July festivals. We can have 9/11 memorial ceremonies there. You know, it's a place for the town to come together. You know, if you look at Prescott, you know, and you look at, you know, whether it's Bisbee or Tombstone, you know, all these different places, you know, they have a town square, you know, and you know, Prescott, you go up there, I mean, it's great to get there. The whole town circulates around that courthouse square, and it's run by the county. But it's a great place to be. I think it's also could be suggested that the Cave Creek Museum moves to the town square so people can actually see them. Not many people are visiting the place. I mean, it's just off the beaten path. And I think we theme it after a mining thing. you know, just of the history of Cave Creek. But I think it would be a great place. And I think the revenue we could create with the town square would replace like a Home Depot. You can make a lot of money with it. So with that's my 2 cents. Thank you.
Next up would be Kathryn.
I think I'm just going to have to be more serious because it's a serious job to run this town and to make sure that we are fiscally sound. So to me, what I have in mind for the next 2 years as mayor, we need to make sure that our water and our wastewater operations are sustainable. That includes future water supplies, addressing the financial drain on the wastewater system, and evaluating the potential sale of our utilities. We need to make sure that the people who work for us are operating and working efficiently. We need to evaluate our headcount. We need to make sure that we have the most strategic contracting agreements in place. And we need to increase and address fiscal transparency with the public. Even though, from my opinion, we had 5 meetings on our budget just recently. The next one is in 2 weeks to approve the final FY27 budget. So we are very transparent in that part of our business. We also need to think about attracting a competent and high-performing workforce. We hired a town manager a couple years ago. He's probably going to be with us for a few more years. We're going to have to replace him in the next term or 2. So we need to make sure that our employees are well compensated and work in healthy, productive work environments, which our town hall is not. If anybody has been there, it's old, it's not clean, it's dark, and it needs an upgrade badly. But we put that on hold because we want to make sure we have enough money to pay for the 4,005 acres. But that was our priority. And finally, we want to protect our core services, fire services, roads, open space,
All right, thank you very
essential
much.
components of
Next up
running a
will
town.
be Thomas.
Thank you. There's a phrase that you all know. Everybody here tells me, I moved to Cave Creek. I think the way it is just great. I don't want it to change. That's the way 25 years ago we felt. Those of you who moved in a year ago, you have the same feeling. The town does change. Keeping Cave Creek is not going to be a matter of remaining the small little town that we've got now. We are going to grow. The growth has been really good. I think keeping Cave Creek is really more a matter of attracting people to Cave Creek who have the values that we have. The people who, I like to say, Elaine and I live above Galloway Wash. Galloway Wash floods now and then. People can't get home to their houses. And I like to say, if you want 24/7, 365 at your house, enjoy North Scottsdale. Because Cave Creek is a little bit different. And if we can project that and bring in people who have the values that we have, that is the most important way of keeping Cave Creek, Cave Creek. The people who came here before me, I've been on the council many years, many of you know that, I have a great deal of respect for them. And it's a process. As we move forward, we want to keep the values of Cave Creek. Cave Creek is not so much physical. Cave Creek is you. Cave Creek is your council. Cave Creek is all of us. And if we can forward those values, that's going to be the most important thing for this town. Thank you.
Next up, Tom.
Thanks. I'm going to meet the issue that I always meet, which is the commercial downtown core, which I consider the living room of the community. As we move forward with the completion of issues like the 4,005 acres and things like that, and I also want to plug another side issue, which I've mentioned to the mayor and some others, is maybe the concept of micro-preservation in the town. I think there are areas that are significant to our day-to-day view experiences as motorists or even as hikers that could be put on a list of potential purchase in the future if the monies exist and we complete some other projects. An example would be the partial, which is actually in Carefree south of the church coming in from the south. There's 12 acres there which is slated for development, and it's been tried, and so far it's not currently moving. But it will be townhomes within double sets of walls, but that's a vista all the way to the northwest. The saguaros at the golf course as you come around the curve, maybe there's some projects like that. The other thing is I just think we can continue improving open government in Cave Creek. We must have the agendas earlier. We cannot, as participants up here, get an agenda on Wednesday or Thursday evening and be ready for a meeting on Tuesday when the staff is closed on Friday. And the people in the community can't know what's going on or have time to research it. The council members need access to the agenda. That code that has been amended to serve a restrictive process needs to be relooked at. We need to restore our twice-a-year meetings with the town of Carefree. There's too many common issues. We need a report and a relationship. We need an embassy in Carefree. We know what the failures of the past have been with water. Why don't we try to be proactive in our relationship building over there? But the thing I want to agitate on is trying to get in the community downtown our sales tax engine, walkable paths, nighttime lighting, restrooms, some consolidated plan on parking. That's it.
Thank you very much. Next up, Joe.
So, my commitment to Cave Creek, if you guys know me, when I ran, I said I was going to be 100% committed. I have been in person at every council meeting. I have not missed a vote. I've been at every event we've had. I've represented you, the town, the people in the town, and I will continue to do that. My plan going forward, number one, obviously, is water management. We've got to do a lot of stuff regarding that, and it was mentioned already. Wildland fire safety, we live in a tinderbox. We've got to stay on top of this. There's more things we can do going forward. 3 would be the acquisition of the 4,005 acres of open space to preserve it for eternity. And that's going to happen. I'm just going to say that much right now. Road improvements is something else. I've been hearing a lot of people. If you know me, I walked to almost 2,000 homes when I ran the first time. I listened to people and what they had to say, and I met people. I was in Hal's office today, our engineer, talking about road improvements, looking at the list and the pecking order. It's very important. Redefining safety standards in our trail system in conjunction with Maricopa County regarding excessive heat. Tom referred to it earlier. It doesn't matter whether you think there's global warming, there's not. Let's face it, everybody, it's getting hotter every freaking summer. And you know, when you go up that mountain with your dog and it's over 100 degrees and it's 10 o'clock in the morning, not cool. We need to work on that soon. I got limited time. Parking solutions, that has not been mentioned. I've got an idea about that. I'm not going to get into it right now. But if you know me, I am all in, I am all out, and nothing less.
And next up, Cynthia.
Part of being on the council in the past 2 years, I've been impressed with the move toward greater analysis and examination of the issues that come before us. I think we have needed all along more facts, more discussion, and the appropriate analysis to make the decisions going forward. And I'm happy to see that happening and look forward to more. I'm a big supporter of private property rights. I think that's important to people who move to Cave Creek. That's part of why you moved here and we moved here. I respect residential and commercial property rights and think the town will continue to grow and develop with respect to our zoning and code allowances. So that's something that continues to need our attention. The short-term water security is #1 issue, and it should take both our budget and our time consideration as the priority for the next 2 years. Likewise, the preservation of the 4,000 acres, I would look forward to having that done in this coming fiscal year and keeping the pressure on to make that happen. In addition, what I would like to say is keep our economic engine tuned up. That's what is going to allow us to move forward with the priorities that we like and keep the infrastructure and the quality of life issues moving forward. You know, towns do change. I know in our neighborhood, I now have as many neighbors who have motorcycles and dirt bikes as I do horses. That's been a change over time. And as long as we have respectful relationships, we can do that. And the same thing applies to the town council. I think I've been able to work on the council and develop respectful relationships with the town staff, with other colleagues on committees and commissions, and with residents as well. So I would look forward to keeping that attitude in the mix.
Thank you. This round is for the candidates to provide any closing statements, and we will ask them in reverse alphabetical order, starting with Kathryn.
Thank you all for coming today. I really appreciate your being here and being interested enough to help determine who's going to help run our town in the next couple of years. If there's anything that I can ask you to remember about me, it's in 3 words. Results. 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 I am a serious girl. I'm volunteering to run for town council post-retirement. I'm committed to working on this town council to make Cave Creek the best place for all of us to live. But I have accomplished a lot in my 8 years on council. Water, land preservation, safety, infrastructure, fiscal responsibility, cowboy culture, collaborative team building, and transparent government. Big concepts, big results. And I think some of you in this room have worked with me. We've collaborated on a number of issues. We've succeeded in every single one. So I thank you for voting for me as mayor of Cave Creek, and I look forward to working with these people on my council collaboratively and successfully, as I have for the last 8 years. Thank you, Mayor Morris, for being our guiding light.
Next up will be Thomas.
Thank you. There's a lot to think about on the council. We have our fiscal responsibilities. We have our responsibilities to the citizens of Cave Creek. Thank you all for coming out. Isn't this magnificent that we've got so many people who are so proud of this community? And you have entrusted us with helping to guide the community. I also want to give Bob, you've done a great job, but we can't do it without a phenomenal staff. And our staff is so important. We on the council establish policy. It's not up to us to run the town. Some people forget that. Some people think, well, I'm here to make particular changes. No, it's policy that we need to establish. We need to have the support of our town, and the fact that we've got such talented people in the town is just wonderful. I'm looking around at the number of people I see here who have done so much for Cave Creek. It is a town, it is a group of people that I'm very proud to be with and to serve with all of these years. I look forward to another 2 years on the council. Who knows, maybe more. Tom McGuire, Thomas, I'm sorry, this is Tom, I'm Thomas. So thank you for your support, and let's move forward. And this is a great group of candidates.
Great. Next up is Brian.
Thank you. So, the way I see things is that, we've talked about it before, there's a lot of things that are coming our way from Cave Creek, and I really believe that we have to have the vision to prepare for it, because I don't know if anybody's really paying attention to what's actually going to be happening and coming our way. And I can tell you this, this is a big commitment for me, because when I do something, I try to be really good at it. I do have a business down in Scottsdale that we're under major expansion right now, but I have a phenomenal management team, and they make things happen. My involvement is, voluntary and optional, but I think there's problems that we need to solve, but there's great things going on. So I appreciate you guys being here. Now, I also have a website on the card out there. You can find out more, read more about what I think and how I see the world. And there's also information on, how to track your vote, what the voting deadlines are, how to registering to vote, all sorts of resources that I have, on the site. But I appreciate you having me here. I'll turn it over.
Be Joe next.
So anyway, yeah, I know I'm pretty hardcore, and I'm not going to change who I am because that's who I am. I thought I would 2 years ago, but zebras don't change their stripes, do they? I'm a very serious dude when it comes to this town when I'm sitting on that dais. Not so serious when I'm goofing around and having fun, though. But I am very serious, and I want you all to know that. So 25 years ago I moved here and there were about 4,600 people that were residents of Cave Creek. Right now there's 5,340 residents. The growth hasn't been like out of control. Also, we've pretty well protected our downtown core. We are growing out on Carefree Highway, we're growing tax dollars. There's nothing wrong with that. It's going to be Bell Road probably someday, who knows. But I also want to address two other things. I believe that we should, in this 250 year of our country, I believe that I'm going to talk to the, the Legion over here. We need to have a Veterans Day parade, and it needs to be the first annual this year on November 11th. To celebrate the country and also the veterans. And I think that's a good idea to bring in people to town. It'll make a little money for the town. It'll also honor those who served. Bike Week was not brought up earlier. I just want you all to know some people are for it, some people aren't. I find it, interesting. So I'm not a biker, but I go down there and check it out. I like live music. I think we're doing a good job with Bike Week, and I think we can do a better job going forward. I think Marshall Stein's on that right now, and like I said, I'm a serious dude and I'm hardcore, and if you know me, that's who I am. I'm here to fight for you guys, and again, I made the commitment when I decided to run that I was going to be at everything, and I'm not going to make any excuses for anything.
It's a pleasure to have the privilege to run for council in Cave Creek. We are a small and I think happy, content community in a very big, busy county. And that brings with it current and future challenges. So those are the challenges I would like to continue to work on. And part of that is understanding where we fit in the bigger scheme of limited resources and high demands. I mentioned relationships a couple times from staff, from council, and Kathryn has mentioned that several times too. I think our leadership has done well in developing relationships that are important for Cave Creek, because we are not an isolated small town who can write our own ticket. We need to work cooperatively with other entities, other powers, to be able to achieve our goals and maintain the kind of community that we want to maintain. I cherish the past that we have had here in Cave Creek. I've enjoyed every minute of it, and I would be very honored to work forward on planning our tomorrows together.
Well, I also want to thank everybody for taking the time from their schedule to show up today. It's different. We could have been at 5 or 6 o'clock. We might have had a few more folks who have to work during the day, but this is a great showing for mid-afternoon. It's still an interview process, and we'll find out what happens on July the 21st. But the people in the community, ever since I got here, and many of you who came here in the earlier years, they have proven that volunteerism not only establishes a town, but it protects a town, and it helps grow a town in a way that is consistent with the vision and the interest of why people originally came here. Maybe the success of the 2 citizen committees that we had this year on critical issues that the council later voted on is a template that could be used in the future. If we can do that with open space acquisition and preservation, maybe we can do it for defining what the character and the services are for tourism, which is still, I think, one of our largest sources of income from sales tax in the community. But from incorporation to today, the backbone is still volunteerism. And I think once we acknowledge that and invite people to participate and somehow jump over the electronic divide, everything's there on the website, but we've got to figure out a way to communicate with folks more quickly on issues that are coming up for a vote that they find out about afterwards. So I think we can do better with communications. I think I'm out of time, but if I'm not, that'll settle. Thank you.
Interviewing, I like that. Yeah, thank you all for coming out tonight, just to get to know the people that you don't know fully. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to interview us. Again, if you're looking for someone that is going to be around this community for the long haul, and someone that has a good diverse set of business skills, pretty much a sharp mind, and someone that is very energetic and is also a competitor and does not like to lose, invest in me. Please vote for me. I won't let you down, because I'm not using this as a stepping stone. I don't have bigger ambitions. I literally just, this is what I want to do. in the spirit of volunteerism. So again, I appreciate everyone's time that that came out tonight. And again, Steve, thank you for coordinating this whole thing.
Okay, thank you for coming out. I also appreciate everybody being here. And I want to say thank you to those of you who signed my petition that allowed me to be up here standing in front of you. So I have a lot of respect for the people in the town. I have a lot of faith in the community bond that we have here. Cynthia's right. We are not an island. We need to connect with other towns and cities to protect our town and for the resources that we need to protect our town. I had a whole thing prepared before I stood up here. I want to be available to you. I don't know how that's going to look. I've talked in the past, maybe quarterly or something. I think it's a great idea that, because you're the voice, and we're here to put your voice through. And I'm not afraid to meet with anybody. As issues come up, I'm not afraid to ask tough questions. I'm one of those people that like to look forward down the road. How do your decisions today affect your tomorrow's outcome? I'm not afraid to ask questions. I'm not afraid of confrontation. I'm not afraid of, I'm not going to fight with you, but I'm not afraid of asking the hard questions. I'm honest. It's important to protect our commercial core. It's important to protect our businesses. There's so many facets and elements that are involved. You know, you've got the art circle, we've got the rodeo. I love that the big box, so to speak, commercial core is on Carefree Highway, and we keep the independent mom and pop kind of stores in the core down here. Ordinances are always being looked at. I'm on top of that. I'm going to be on top of that because ordinance can change the flavor of the town. And we want to protect the town, and we want to protect the people and preserve what we have. I love it here. Thank you.
Thank you, candidates, for participating in the forum. Everyone, please give them a round of applause. We'd like to thank the Desert Foothills Library for providing the venue. They've done a wonderful job in accommodating us. Unfortunately, they will be closing soon, so if you want to talk to the candidates, I'm sure you guys will hang out. They'll probably ask you to go outside, though. We also like to thank Mel for videotaping, as well as Jen and Danny for assisting our board members. We will have the unedited, uncut version on our YouTube channel, probably Tuesday, because Monday is a holiday. Monday's a holiday. Memorial Day is already here. And most of all, I'd like to thank all of you for coming out and supporting the candidates this evening. Really do appreciate it, and the town is live, vibrant, and it's all because of you and all of you. Please remember to always shop and buy local. I have to do that. Come on now. We're about the businesses here. The Chamber has over 320 wonderful members, and we do highly encourage you to shop and buy at their stores all the time, because that's part of our community. That's what makes this community thrive. So I just want to say, everyone, thank you for coming out tonight. Drive safe, get to meet the candidates, have a good night. We'll see you soon.